Welcome back, everybody. This is Custom Goose, and in the last part, we finished the last 3 quests that we needed to finish to end this game. And in this part, it is the finale. Everybody clap your hands, because we are headed to the Tree of Mana. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be starting a quest whose name should look very familiar to you. And as far as I can tell, the music in this particular area isn't as good as I would have wanted it to be, but this here should look pretty familiar to you. If it doesn't, it's about to in a couple seconds. I can't even hear the music anyway, so I don't know if it's as good or as bad as I remembered it being. My head is currently killing me, and I swear I don't know what it is with my ankles, but like they're either itchy or they're in pain. But here we are. Welcome to the Sanctuary of Mana. Legend of Mana. You get it? Because it's the thing. It's the name of the game. So Pokehell is there. If you talk to him, he can send you back to the world map if you had other things you wanted to get done. But we are the hero of time with our funky red hood, and our name is Chumpy. And we will take nothing and isn't afraid of anything. I am 12, and what is fear? So let's pick up our magical meat. Most of the treasures that you'll be picking up here are not worth it at all, and you're basically just climbing up the mana tree, killing all the enemies that you see along the way. This zone is divided into 2 parts, and I will notify you when when we get into the next part. I'll explain how that works. But for now, we just need to kill all the enemies that we come across and progress forward through the mana tree. There's really not much to say. We could take this moment to reflect on our past triumphs. We helped Escad and Dana, although we did help Diana, but that happened much later. Dana and Matilda and Erwin in one of the most intense boss battles this game has to offer, with the best boss music this game has to offer. We helped Ditto and Capella, we helped Gilbert get himself killed. So many things, so little time. And this is where it all ends. We're fighting for the resurrection of the Mana Tree to bring it back into this world and show people that we can survive with it. Or something to that effect. I'm not entirely sure what I'm fighting for anymore. I'm still heartbroken over what happened in the Teardrop Stone. Oh, now the more I think about it, the more it makes me think of the end of Pokemon 2000, I think it was, with Mewtwo and Mew and Pikachu. But Pikachu, I'm assuming, is in pretty much every Pokemon movie that involves Ash, at least. So the most awkward part about this particular zone is that when you have to fight enemies, with the way that the screens end up working, sometimes enemies are off screen and you kind of have to wait for them to bounce towards the screen, kind of like that Basilisk was slightly off screen and he had to bounce up before you even realized he was there. I think there's a more striking example coming up pretty soon. Or potentially not, because it looks like this is a unique area. Oh, no, I was wrong. So you think, your first thought is, oh, it's just one Chocobo, but then the Sprigian comes down. Sorry about that, had stuff in my throat. And you're like, oh, we're not as close to the end as I thought we were, except we're pretty damn close to the end. I mean, you're at the last quest. The only way you could be closer to the end is if you had finished the last quest already, but we kind of just started it. So, there's really no way that we can be at the end already, because that just doesn't make any sense. I do like the atmosphere of this place, though, especially when you're inside the tree. This the color scheme and the like ethereal look to it. It's pretty nice. So this is the end of the first half. It didn't take very long. But this is Sanctuary's Gate. We are now going into the Sanctuary. And the Sanctuary is infested with monsters, so there's really no set path. I mean, there's an optimal path you want to take, sort of, but there's really no set path. The goal here is to kill every enemy that is in this area, and I believe once you've killed one set, you don't, like, they won't respawn. I'm not 100% sure on that, because I hardly ever end up getting turned around that much. I do get turned around occasionally, but not to the point where I fight enemies a second time. So yeah, as soon as you kill the last enemy that you have to kill, it will automatically teleport you to the next area of this zone. And I don't believe I want to go this way, but I'm going to check just in case. No, I didn't want to go here yet. Ah, man. I'm still incredibly nerve-sighted about tomorrow. And it's still incredibly cold in my room, which is weird. I'm honestly contemplating just leaving my PS3 on overnight, because the thing, I have one of the originals, so it's the massive one, and if you leave it on for a long enough time, it will spit fire and just become the warmest thing ever. So I'm thinking about doing that as a makeshift heater. I think we want to keep going this way. I only vaguely remember what the last fight that you end up doing is. It's not this one. I think this is the second to last one. I know one of the enemies that you fight is an ox. So if you end with an ox, or if you start fighting an ox, you might want to start thinking about the fact that that is the last fight you're going to have to do. Oh my god, we're on fire and confused. Everyone's on fire and confused. That was another They Might Be Giants song reference. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed singing it for you. So there's only one path to go that we haven't gone yet. And it's for treasure. I think as long as you do a giant circle around the area, you should be fine. Because I think this is the last fight. Yeah. I'm gonna have my foot stuffed in my mouth if this isn't the last fight, but I'm almost 100% certain it is. And then we will move on from there. Ho-ho! What is this? We are being teleported like I predicted. But I didn't tell you where we were being teleported to! I am the light. I am the darkness. Half of myself is what I have fought in the past. I create, I destroy, I create again. I am love. Not all of me is just. Not all of me is pure. That is only half of myself. Those who desire my other half cross their swords. People's freedom is lost and my truth is buried. I shall show you my darkness. You must defeat me. You will become a hero. Open the path to those who search for me. And if we step into the moonlight, we fight the final boss of the game. The dark side of the mana goddess. Now, don't let her small stature fool you. She's a demon in something. She's quick, she's nimble, and she's not adverse to using special abilities. That's a new one. I haven't seen that one in a very long time. As you can see, the moon is in the process of eclipsing. You don't want to let it do that. You would like very much to defeat her before that moon eclipses, because she will unleash Armageddon on you. It does about 58% of your health, but she's been defeated. And unfortunately, as much as like I thoroughly enjoy hard boss fights, like especially for the final boss, like the final boss, in my opinion, in every video game should somehow like scale to your skill level so that it's always just that much of a challenge, so that you feel accomplished when you defeat them. Because that is, I mean, I've had a couple of tough runs on that boss, but overall it's pretty short. Anyway, that was the end of that quest, so like always, I am going to leave you with the ending scene, and then I will cut back in the credits and give my thoughts on this project. Why they chose Nicolo as the end character, I will never fully understand. But anyway, that's the end. Legend of Mana. I don't believe I mentioned this, but this game is available on the PlayStation Network store for about $10, I want to say. And if you have a excuse me, that was a burp. If you have a PS3 and are looking for a fun little game to play, it takes about 15 hours to 100% if you follow a guide, like I do. And even then, it's still, you don't even need to follow a guide. You can just play it however you want. You're going to get to the ending regardless. But yeah, I cannot possibly recommend this game enough. Easily my favorite PlayStation 1 game. Or, not my favorite per se. I have a lot of PlayStation 1 games that I am exceptionally fond of, but this definitely is on the list of top 10. I'm not sure if I would put it in top 5, but, I could. And I don't understand half these credit sequences, because most of them didn't even happen. I think it's supposed to be that, like, they might have happened off the screen when we weren't present. And Lil Peas going pwah with Reverend Novile. Or Nuvile. Or Chozile. Also, it's incredibly depressing the fact that the cactus runs off too. Because he's a plant and he's also connected at the roots. I don't know. And the music, it's just awesome. And I can't handle all of the things of this game. There's just too many. This game is amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I personally don't believe that I'm necessarily cut out for Let's Playing. Because I'm basically a quiet introvert by nature. And I kind of have this monotonous voice. I tried my hardest to put as much emotion into my words as I can, but if I didn't put any into any, that's just the way I talk. It doesn't mean that I have no emotions, because I can't stress enough how much I absolutely love this game to pieces. But anyway, I might try picking it up later. I'm not quite as busy. I need to focus on school and all that stuff. Plus, I feel like YouTube, or pretty much any internet website that houses videos, I feel like they're all sort of overloaded with Let's Players, and I tried to do the whole thing with the science of me standing out and giving science facts, but I don't feel like that's interesting enough or different enough for me to, claw out my own thing, and I don't really have the time to just keep putting content out. But overall, I think this project went really well. It definitely would have been better if I had finished sooner and I didn't have to take the 2-month hiatus, or the 4-month hiatus that I did. But anyway, that's really all I've got on this end sequence here. I've got nothing else to say. I've got plenty to say, but it's basically going to be me repeating everything that I've already said. So I think that's going to do it for my commentary. I will let you guys continue watching through the credits. I believe they should be pretty close to being over. Just sit back, relax, enjoy the music. There is a short scene at the end of the credits that you might consider worth watching. I don't know what your personal preference is, but I've been Cosmigustin, and I hope you enjoyed this as much as I certainly did. But the story doesn't end there. There are a few quick things I'm going to show off. The first is that, as you can see, we are back in our homes. This treasure chest is back, and it still has 100 lucre in it. After you beat the game and the fin part fades out, you have the option of overwriting your current save, and that allows you to go into New Game Plus, or you could save it somewhere else. You'll still have New Game Plus. So as you can see, the cactus leaflet thing journal entry is still full of all the quests that we've already done. However, we will have to be doing most of those quests again anyway. And as you can see down here, Bud and Lisa are not with us at the moment because we have not met them yet, as we have started over. And the most notable thing of New Game Plus is that if you go over to your bookshelf, there will be one new book added, this creepy looking book, The Forbidden Tome. It asks you, would you like to live in peace? You could say yes, and it'll keep the game exactly as it is. You can say no, however, and it asks if you want a nightmare. If you say yes, you will enter the game in nightmare mode, where everything, I'm not sure what the ratio is, but everything is harder. It has more health, hits harder. I think it might have higher defense, but you get more experience naturally. But if you press no, it asks if you want to have a feature, and if you press triple dot, you'll go out of it, and everything will be exactly as it is. But if you press no, you will enter no future mode. Now this mode turns every enemy without exception to level 99, and there are only 98 red balloons to go along with it. But no future mode is no joke. It's not particularly challenging. However, one time it did take me 5 minutes to beat a rabbite, so there's that. But in New Game Plus, there are also a certain number of things that are already unlocked, like for instance our monster corral is already unlocked. If we head around this way to our workshop, you will see that the workshop is still completely full, so you can still alter weapons, alter armor, make golems, make whatchamahuzits, musical instruments. If you open up the menu, your items are all still here. Your weapon and armor are all still here. I was wearing an iron pot to the very end. And if you go down to the Mana Orchard is also still there. So you do not need to do, in New Game Plus, you do not need to do the quests to unlock these. However, you will need to do the quests up to those if you want to go through all of the quests again. Like, for instance, you don't have to do basic golemology as a quest, but you do. The quest to rescue Professor Bomb's golem is still available. But anyway, that's the only thing left to show off in this game. There are a couple other Easter eggs, like I believe I mentioned that there's a Final Fantasy IV, I want to say, Easter egg. But I've never played Final Fantasy IV, and that would be lost on me. But anyway, that's going to do it for this project. I thank you for sticking with it to the very end with me. And you might see me again if I have enough free time and desire to come back to this. But, enjoy yourselves, and remember to, I don't know, I was trying to be all sentimental and serious for a moment, but nothing really came to mind. Anyway, adios.